Alright, so today I thought I would do a world tour on my Enigmatica expert world. It's like my fifth playthrough. I never ever finish it. I think maybe my first or my second I actually got these creative items unlocked, but ever since then I kind of get to this point of needing the ultimate ingots and all this other stuff, and I quit because I like the what do you call it? The previous chapters, the early game to mid game. But so most of the stuff is finished. The one thing I actually didn't do on this playthrough was go to another planet, because again, it's not too exciting. But yeah, I thought for nostalgia purposes, it'd be kind of cool to make a video so I could look back on this, because I've done a couple cool things in this world. I'm just trying to think what would be the best way to show off some stuff. As you can see, the base is very much unfinished. There's a weird artifact going on with this distillation tower. One of the cool things with this pack is I played a lot with this RFTools Control. Oh, getting electrocuted by my low voltage. The programmer. This little program here, I actually made it so I could automate compact machines. So if I wanted maybe 100 of those, redstone. I haven't played on this world in like a month, and I just left the server running, and it may have been doing some weird things, like something ate all my redstone, and I probably ran out of power. Oh no, my AE2 system's still on. I wonder, something happened. Okay, good. I've got redstone. Hopefully we can ask for this craft before it runs out. And hopefully it's not broken. The server's been running for so long. It's probably doing some weird things. So a piece of redstone's coming. So I actually had quite a bit of fun playing with this. Learning RFTools Control. And I'm using a golem from Thaumcraft, something else I've never done, to put the stuff back in my AE2 system. And if everything's correct, oh, that's a junk craft that got stuck. Cool. The really cool thing is I can ask for this big cube. So if I ask for one of those, I don't know if it's going to break if I try to ask for a lot of stuff at once. It might. I don't remember if I made a weight in that CPU. This might be a bad demonstration if it doesn't work. Oh, there goes the pearl. It looks like it might actually make the big one. Oh no. Something broke. Whoops. Well, that's no good. Oh yeah. It did all the... that's a bad demonstration. I actually could improve that program. Whoops. Getting electrocuted again. I've never bothered to move those. Basically, it waits, and as soon as items come into one of these crates, it tries to figure out what you've asked for. But apparently, it doesn't handle multiple requests well, so they got overlapped. But anyways, I could actually ask for this now. No, I can't. Maybe I can. Oh yeah. It's been a while, like I said. I forget how everything's supposed to work. It's a very slow animation. And then he goes and he puts it back in the AE2 system. So what's cool about RFTools Control, if you're not familiar, is I can actually copy all of this, like hit Control A and then hit Control C on my keyboard and copy it. And I can actually paste it into a notepad and save it. And so if I start a new world, I can actually paste this program back into my game and save it. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing. Should sleep so it's nighttime. So I probably spent more time on that than I should have, but since we're at Astral Sorcery, we can have a quick look at this setup. I have the modular machine structure set up for this. I don't know what it's programmed with, but basically my AE2 system will inject the items into this chest, which go into the input, and then when it's done the craft, it will put it back into my AE2 system. So there's nothing too really exciting about this. I didn't get too into Astral Sorcery. This is kind of a weird setup. It's off right now because it was causing a tremendous amount of lag, but I don't even remember what this is. Oh, I have a system that's taking these ores, putting them into here, and I put a timer on it so it doesn't run too frequently because I found it made a lot of lag. So yeah, every 10 seconds it'll throw an ore in randomly, emerald or diamonds, and this device actually processes the ore times 4, where everything else does it, I think, just by 2 at the most. So this is by far the best way to get lots of emeralds and diamonds. But I've got tons of them, I believe. Emerald, yeah, 50k emerald, and my diamonds is at 60k, so this doesn't need to run. And then this system, I think resonating gems. Yeah, resonating gems go into here, and integrated dynamics keeps these full, which in turn keeps this chalice full, so this system can always run. So that's that. I made one of these ritual pedestals. As you'll see, there's a lot of other things. If you're familiar with Astral Sorcery, there's a lot of other things that I don't have, like all those lenses and all that, because I don't really know the mod very well. I just kind of did what I needed to, and I needed a lot of fish and books and loot, so I put this Octan's crystal into this ritual, and it makes all these items shoot out of the pond. I don't know if that's a good way of explaining it. This is another part of Astral. Again, did the bare minimum. What else? Blood magic. And villagers for some reason. I don't actually remember doing this. I must have been looking for a certain type of villager. Astral. Not Astral. Thaumcraft. Oop, a little bit of lag. So this is the most I've ever got into Thaumcraft. It was kind of fun. I never really played with a mod before, even on previous versions of modded Minecraft. I had big plans to automate all of this stuff because it shoots through this mirror, and then it comes out of this mirror and it runs this ritual, and it's very stable because I have stuck all of these heads and candles up here, and then all of these candles down here. So plus there's these whatever those do. I forget. I don't remember anymore. But what I really wanted to do, and I never got around to, is I was playing around with these jars, and these jars actually output a redstone signal based on how full they are. So this has 68 of whatever that is, Potentia maybe, and it's got a redstone signal of 4. And then this one is a Acacia maybe, and it's got a redstone signal of 12. So what I was planning on doing was this redstone probe connector from Immersive Engineering. It works just like a comparator, and you can set different channels. Like I think this channel's on, do I got my immersive? Yeah, so channel receiving white, channel sending white. You can change them, I think, to 16 different colors. And what's cool about these things, these probes, is I'd be able to stick them. I should actually test that before I say that. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Redstone. So if I did that, and I'm sure my redstone's gone already, is it? Zero. Oh, this is not set to output. Yeah, so it's outputting a 4 because that's how much that is there. If I was to stick this one here, it would output an 11. But I'll put these back because I've actually got them in order of how they show up in the JEI. So yeah, what I was actually planning on doing was having every single one of these, I don't know how many jars there are, but they were going to pull the redstone signal through the block, and they were going to go to a system that would actually keep these full. So if this dropped below, like let's say, 200, it would say, you know what, send some feathers to this thing, and then however this thing works, I don't really know, but it would send it from here to here. And just to make sure I'm explaining that right, because again, it's been a while. Yeah, so immediately, oh, feathers. Well, feathers is over there, but you get the point. So I had big plans to automate this, which would have been really cool because it's kind of all hidden. And yeah, but I didn't do it. And I was going to make like a pile of these things because you can make different ones of these based on stuff that I don't remember. But yeah, that's Thaumcraft. Botania. This one's kind of a bit of a gong show. I automated it in perhaps a overcomplicated and horrible way. Not perhaps, I definitely did. But Elementium, I can say give me 10 of those. And what's it going to do first? First it's going to send stuff there, and then it's going to send it to there. And again, I'm using ender chests to send recipes. This thing's kind of cool. Botania, I can say, you know what, make me some cake flowers. Make me, no, not 10, I'll make 2 of them. So it's going to send all the stuff it needs, plus 2 of these tokens, and these are like placeholders. It's so it doesn't send too many of a recipe at the same time. It will do one batch, and it'll wait for that token to come back before it sends the other batch for crafting. So, drops it all in. And it's broken. So, I'm playing this world single player right now. This was all built on a server, so that did work at one point, but it doesn't anymore. And it basically, the purpose is it would hold a token where that's probably why it's broken. There's no token. So yeah, bad demonstration. Token alter. I don't know why I did that. I'm kind of half curious where that went. What is this? Oh, a sequencer. I forgot you could place blocks like that. I really wish that would have worked. Cancel. Oh, I'm not dealing with that. But regardless, I use this a lot because it worked very well. Same thing with this. It was supposed to be a system that wouldn't send too many items, and it would use a token to make sure it got it back before it would send another recipe. But playing this world on my computer now as a single player world instead of a server, I think the calculations must be off or something, the timing, so it doesn't work. And there's quite possibly a better way to do this, but this is the disaster that I came up with. And like I said, it used to work. And this was my automated terrace steel machine. I don't dare use it. It's probably also broken. Oh, I've got essence now. So this recipe's actually been removed. It doesn't really do anything anymore. But it used to make terrace steel. Yeah, some weird timings going on there. And same thing with this. This was a system that I used to make sure I wasn't sending too many items, because I think if I ask for a lot of this, what it's supposed to do is stop sending items when the essence pool gets too low. But it looks like the essence pool's right full, so there's no risk of it going low. But before I had this fabulous mana pool, it would go empty on me. I'm rambling. Back up to the bed. So it's been about 20 minutes, and I've just gotten through my magic part of things. I guess I talked about the compact machines for a bit. This is bees. First time I played with Gendistry, so I tried to really understand it. I know now that it's not for me. Immersive. For some reason you needed crude oil, I think it was, or you needed something from this thing, so I had to build this, and it's always been glitchy. So I don't know what the deal is there. Oh yes. Back when I tried to make my base look fancy. This is my, what do you call it, advanced generator. You know what? Let's not go there right away. Let's walk into the base like I was intending. So I got this. Oh, you know what I should do? I should talk about the last thing of magic before I get sidetracked again. Let's see if this thing's also broken. I'm using RFTools Control, running two programs, a Blood Magic inventory program that does some stuff, and then Blood Magic Rune that does some stuff. Basically what I'm doing is I'm having my AE2 system keep these items in here. That's where it's supposed to keep any of these type of items. And what this thing does is it does a count. And it keeps an inventory, and I have it set in there for what kind of count I want. So if I was to all of a sudden take the third slate out of there, so there wasn't 64, these imbued ones, I don't know how quickly it updates. I think it was set to every 5 minutes or every half an hour. It would do a poll, because I didn't want it running all the time, so it might actually be a while. But that's like an automatic do a check. So what it does is it starts making them. And as you can see, it used one of the greens so that it made a green, and now it's going to use one of the reds. What if I can stand here to prove? Yeah, so it is actually working, which is kind of surprising. But what's kind of cool about this program is I am using, what is this called? The Well of Suffering and Cursed Earth to spawn these guys. And I'm actually using RFTools Control to turn this system on and off. I believe it's using this node. Oh no, that's something different. It's using this node to control the mob spawning, so I don't always have mob spawning. It only runs when this thing needs to run, so it's turned this on. And there's also a button here called Toggle Fractured. And I don't know if it's going to run. Oh no, it is. Okay, it just has to wait. The CPU is busy, so now Toggled Fractured's on. And I can turn it back off. Right, after the core is not busy. Oh, it's stuck on. Another thing that's broken. Oh no, it's off. It's back on. Okay, so I'm just impatient. The CPU is busy doing things. Oh yeah, toggled. Can I not turn this off? Well, something else that's broken. Nice. Maybe that's why I'm sick of this world. Is all my stuff that used to work doesn't work anymore. But what that would do is, I think I have a node in here, and there's two rituals. There is a Fractured Crystal ritual and a Forsaken Souls ritual. And I don't exactly remember how blood magic works, but this entire structure is built, for the most part, in this junk. And so, where's that thing? Nope. Is it in here? It's not. The Aurora. Oh, this thing right here. So you see in the top left-hand corner, it tells me how much Demon Will is in this chunk. If I step into this chunk, it probably drops, but I can't tell because that part of my monitor is busted. Yeah. So anyways, these two rituals would fill the chunk with Demon Will, and it would allow stuff to... Oh, it's doing things right now. These crystals would grow, and then the ritual would be turned on, so it would break them, and I would duplicate these, essentially. And I don't really remember why, but I've got lots. And it was important for this thing too, because it allowed me to get the different types. And in this pack, you need to get those. I should really make a detailed video of this for myself later, because I already forget what I did and why I did it. But I thought it was a cool thing. And oh yeah, look at that. Look, it's still running and it's making slate. So if I just dump that back in there, it should be fine. The system's smart enough now that once it's done all of the crafting, it will put this orb, where is it? This orb back in to make sure my life essence and all that's up. And if this blood pool actually gets too low, it will stop and it will put this orb in here and just let the mobs die just to fill this up again. So it will never run empty. It's smart enough to, it takes a redstone signal, I think, from, I don't remember where. Yeah, there's a node down here. A redstone proxy switch that takes the redstone signal. So yeah, that's been 25 minutes of just magic. I think it's time to go into the base now. This is one of the first times I got involved with chisel and bits. I think I was streaming and somebody actually explained to me how to use it, and that's what I made. And then I decided it wasn't for me. Okay, so this is my lobby. This is my kitchen, and I never got it set up. It's completely empty. I was going to make some kind of a kitchen in here. Bed there for some reason. This was just junk that I didn't want in my AE2 system. A lot of it's rewards, I believe. I don't even know why that's there. This right here is my room of horrors. It's called my antechamber. And some basic machines. This whole system is XNet. I don't know if you can see. No, you can't. This is all XNet conduit behind here, and it's automated to do whatever that is, and I don't even remember what that is anymore. Some Gendistry stuff. Witch water. Well, this is my Botania setup to make, what do you call that stuff? Living rock. So I actually have the system set up to always keep a lot. Because of the blood magic ritual I just showed you, you need it to make the basic slates in blood magic. This system's kind of cool. I actually forgot about this. Oh, there's another chisels and bits experiment program. This program was made to make me to program power cells. Like if I was in a different dimension or a different part of the base and I wanted a power cell, I had two channels in this base in the very beginning. I had channel 1, which was everything that needed power, and channel 2, or no, not channel 2, channel 4, that was just my AE2 system, just so my system was always online. But what I could actually do was go to power cells, and I could actually say, you know what, make me a power cell ID 1 card or a 4 card. I could actually say, you know, make me 2 of those, and it would send these tokens again into the system. You can see it doing things. Looks like it actually worked. Yeah, recipe's done. So yeah, this program actually still works. Basically, it's just making a power cell card and it's pushing it in, getting it programmed with whatever channel ID is sitting here, and then I've got it. And I'm a little scared to show this because I don't know if it's going to work. But once upon a time, I could actually say, you know what, make me. Oh yeah, look at that, owned. Power cell owned by Minecraft. I could actually request an entire power cell. So it would make the power cell and it would program the card. Power cell card token. Token. How do I know which is which? And it's supposed to break it, I think, right? Oh, it's broken. Oh no, it worked. Okay. So it would actually place a power cell, put the card in it, and then I could get it out of my inventory, my wireless AE2 system. And that's why it shows owned by Minecraft, because it's not me who's placing it, it's the auto placer. What was this stuff? This stuff was, is it called emeralds? And the middle one does something different. Oh, there's a fan. Yeah, there was a glitch here where the items would bounce into a weird spot. So I actually have a fan behind the wall that's pushing them, and it's pushing me. This one's kind of cool. This is infused wood, right? No. What was it called? Living rock? No, living wood. Living wood. Give me 100 of those. I don't have any infused wood. So why can I not make infused wood? Oh, something must be broken. This is supposed to drop logs into here to make infused wood, but something must not be loaded. Doesn't matter. Something else that's broken. This is also automated. Whoop. Yeah, AE2s doing things. Don't remember. I guess I could do this. Botania, Blood Altar, Blood Crystals, the Garden, the Workshop, the Command Center. So that room's hard on the eyes. This is the Command Center. I've got my liquids, primal mana. Ooh, slots. Gases, I guess I never set that up. AE2 system. Oh, the patterns. This thing's huge. I have a lot of stuff auto-crafting. Oh yeah, there's all my runes. I wish that worked. That was really cool when I was using it, but now the timing's off. Got tons of UU matter here for making all of these things. I just make them as needed. None of it's really automated. That was a wish. This is just for late game armor. You need it for draconic stuff. I don't remember the purpose of this. Oh, this was me timing. February 4th. What is it now? It's May. Can't remember if I showed that, but this is my ultimate ingot. I was trying to make 3 stacks of it, but of course these holes are ores I don't have yet. This is a temporary thing that I set up. It's actually kind of cool. It's all pink there, so if I go to this ender pouch, this thing's off right now. The redstone signal is turning all of these laser drills off. So if I go to overworld laser drill and I turn this on, the redstone goes off and it's going to start running. What it does is it puts the items back in this chest. So if this chest was to ever get full of items, it would eventually fill this slot and it would turn off the system. So as long as an item is in that slot, this thing gets turned off. I don't use it much anymore. This is my best ore miner from Envirotech. It's not actually a tier 3. I think it's like a max tier. This thing just destroys my power. But yeah, this allows me to have control because basically this inventory checker is looking on slot 51, which is, this is slot 51, and as long as there's nothing there, it will turn off the redstone. And then the items will get pulled out of this chest and processed by whatever's the most efficient. Ooh, this is going to take a while. I guess I might as well go to these cubes. I don't remember if I talked about this, but these are just standalone machines. I can just stuff, stuff into here and it'll get processed. And it all gets dumped back into the AE2 system eventually. But I can just throw items in here and then it'll get processed. Now for here, my compact machines. Hopefully the world doesn't crash. Okay, this is my main compact machine. These ME capability adapters are pretty cool. They let you bring in a P2P tunnel, which is what this device is, which allows you to bring in 32 channels. So right now you can see in the tooltip it says 32 of 32 channels used on this P2P tunnel. And I actually have a third P2P tunnel, and it's using 32 of 32. And another P2P tunnel, 18 of 32. And there's another one over there and over there. So this is all my auto crafting in this cube. Everything's maxed out with full acceleration cards, and the molecular, what are these called? Interfaces, I guess. I've tried to balance the load between everything. So there's just random stuff scattered. Actually, if I click on the interface terminal, oh, I don't think the other world is chunk loaded properly because again, issues. But yeah, I've tried to balance everything out. So there's all kinds of automation happening here in this wall of machines. Making tree oil. For the longest time, I couldn't fly. I refused to get flight. I don't even remember why I got this flight, but that's why I have scaffolding everywhere. Sap. I honestly do not remember doing a lot of this. It was a fairly early game thing too, because I have that danger cable there, high voltage. What else? This is kind of cool. I don't need these things anymore, but right now it's disabled. I've got an inventory checker that's checking slot 3 for one item. And so let's just see if I remember how this works. Electron tube. If I wanted that, it's turned it off, and it's got to heat up, and it is. And it put the necessary amount of ingredients in to make this electron cube. And it's kind of weird with this redstone, it's just floating there. But since that redstone is off, this thing's allowed to run. As you can see, these ones over here are disabled by redstone because that redstone is on. So basically what it's doing is in slot 3, which is right here, I believe, or is it right here? Doesn't matter. It's off if it's not needed. And that's way it's not wasting. I think electricity was my concern. Yeah, and then it pulls the item out and goes back into the grid. So that was me in the very beginning, automating these electron tubes. The garden cloche is automated. The ender electron tube is automated. And whoops. Oh, I took that recipe out, but it was this, whatever that is. More automation. This is probably what destroyed my redstone. Dumping all of my redstone into this melter. I bet something wasn't chunk loaded and that didn't turn off. So yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Next cube. So what do we got here? Sulfuric acid. Oh. I completely forgot about that, but that was built specifically for those draconic things. What is this doing? Oh, this is my plastic factory. It was kind of a cool setup. It'll place blocks, and as soon as a block gets broken, it sends an observer pulse, and then it tries to place blocks everywhere. What else here? Water. Oh yes, XNet. So I have a pile of garden cloches that are all taking an input of something, of an item, and water and electricity. And then it's got an export of items and some basic power stuff. But basically what I'm doing is I am taking apatite essence, making apatite, making fertilizer, and then dumping all of that fertilizer into my cloches. And so I've got wood, dirt, actually, essence. So that's what I got for essence, is all that stuff. And XNet works really good because this stuff will never plug. It will never pull out these items and plug the pipes unless there's actually somewhere there's room for it. And some of these drawers, a lot of them don't have upgrades, but some of them do. They will just fill up. Oh, is it going to crash? Maybe I didn't click on it. Should stop clicking on those. But yeah, this is my my modular grow up, and I didn't see the need to make more, but I was going to actually keep what's the word I'm looking for? Keep expanding it, and then once I filled it up, I could have started stacking it. And you can fit quite a lot in this room. And then the food here is for my chimichanga. It's a pretty good food. And you need to make all this stuff, which is the purpose of all of that, is to make me the awesome food that I have here. So this is also a really cool room that I like. What's next? What is running? Oh, there's no power. Oh, no, there is. Oh, it's turned. Okay, so it is working. So this is an online detector that's detecting me, and it turns off all of these recyclers, so they're not running and laggy when I'm online, and then when I was offline they would turn on. This allowed me to get all of that UU matter. Oh yeah, I didn't realize I have all those matter fabricators too. I don't know if this is an efficient design, but it's what I made. And again, P2P tunnels for the win. It allows you to interface with all your stuff through the network outside of the cubes due to these ME capability adapters. So the entire purpose of this system is it makes calcium sulfate, which if you've played this pack, you know it's a giant pain to make. To get calcium sulfate, you make this too. You need all that. And it's a giant hodgepodge of stuff. But the end result is what I need. What does this say? To reboot full tanks, this tank dump. This is something else. I don't even remember what this is. Yeah. I think this is one of the last complicated things I built before I was running out of steam. Failure IC2 room, please fix. Oh, that's something else too. So all those P2P tunnels I was talking about, they all have a number, and I can link it to my AE2 system down there that I'll talk about in a bit, but it lets me see what goes where, and it just tells me how many tunnels I have jammed in each cube. And there's a limit because based on that one capability adapter, I can only stick 8 channels in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 3 more rooms for channels that could fit in there, I believe. There's no point going in here, but this is a giant battery, and I was going to make this giant, like those are all metal formers, and those are all block cutters, and none of it works. I never set it up, but it was going to be a giant plate factory because these plates are made with block cutters or metal formers, and they also make cables too. I just decided to not continue with it. Oh yeah, this is cool. So this thing is a cursed earth farm. Can't talk. What does it do? There's a sub network going on, so all of these items are not in my main. Or how does that work? I can access those items. Yeah, this is my main network, and I can access everything in here. But these items will never overflow, and they'll never spill into this one, which takes up room. They'll only fit into those drives. 11K essence, which is a lot. But what's really cool with this system is I have a Blitz and a Blizz and a Blue Slime and a Basalts for making all the different, what are they called here? Rod, I forget. Mana dust. Where is it? Yeah, so to make mana dust for something, you needed all the different types of rods. Yeah, those things. So you needed that and that and that. So, what's this? Blaze. There was something else in here too, I think. And this is a wither chamber. So if I go down here, redstone signal. So this would be my wither maker. Mob crusher. Oh, that's what that is. Every time I kill mobs, if it doesn't have somewhere to go, if it doesn't have a place to put the item, it will send it to the trash if it fits a certain filter. And I've just started slapping these filters for all the different types of mob drops. And then ones I haven't consulted go into this chest, which is back in my main base, and it allows me to say, oh, I don't actually want these, and I'd come in here and I'd filter them so they would get trashed. I really tried to not make my AE2 system get over full. And every single one of these drives is formatted, so only one type of item can fit in each drive, just so it wouldn't overfill. And this system here would just check the rods. If the rods dropped below a certain level, like let's say I made a bunch of this mana. Can I make a bunch of it? I don't know. I don't have redstone, of course. Yeah, if I was to take all of that, it says, hey, I'm low, and it starts spawning. And what would also happen is that uses a lot of fluid essence to spawn those guys. If the fluid essence gets below this number, I don't know what it is, 6 million? Let's call them millibuckets, 6 million millibuckets. So basically, I've got near 12,000. It's looking for 6,000, I think. I forget. I've got lots anyways, but if I didn't have enough, it would turn on the mob the cursed earth farm, and then mobs would start spawning, and then I would get my fluid essence recharged. And the reason I built it like this, it's kind of overkill, but it makes it so it's not always running and it's not laggy. Right now, I don't need anything, so it's off. And when I need stuff, it would turn on. And nothing's chunk loaded properly anymore. Once upon a time it was. And then also, as you can imagine, stars. Withers will spawn down there in that corner and get killed by the crusher. But I'm going to leave because that's loud. So that is the compact cubes. I guess something else I should talk about. I've already explained the pink ender pouch. It's for my remote control to control different devices. Also, it's a lag prevention thing, so I don't have stuff running if it doesn't need to be. And I can turn stuff off if I run out of power, because early game I used to have a power issue. Actually, I think I can show that right now. If I turn on this, which is my most expensive to run, and we go to the network, we will see that the turbine is making 5.5 million RF, but the ore miner is actually using almost 7 million. And so I'm actually going to have a net loss right now. And so, yeah, I'm losing a million RF a tick because even though I thought my power situation was good, I'm still running into issues. I got an advanced generator that's cooking ethylene. I've got a giant turbine, which is by far my best. I've got a reactor in the end from Mekanism, which I don't really know how it works. I built it for the first time ever this playthrough, but it doesn't seem good. And I'm thinking it's because of me. And then I have a nuclear craft fission reactor that I only run as needed. Its sole purpose is to burn up uranium, so I can get the waste from it. And some of these points I haven't even named. I don't even know what they are, but like I guess they're using lots of energy. And yeah, am I already out of power again? So that's the purpose of this, is for me to do that. Because if I wanted to quickly just log off and my server was running, I would just turn everything on and log off, and it doesn't matter if I don't have power. The AE2 system is set up in such a way where it'll always have power, and then everything else will just suffer. But that doesn't matter. But back to this other pouch, the white one. This is my tool bag, and I am notorious for losing it or throwing them into a Thaumcraft crucible, and then everything gets lost forever if you lose it. But if you keep it in an ender chest, you just make another pouch, because you've always got these items. And I would lose stuff all the time, so that's important. I think this is my main storage. Most of these are quite large. And then fluids over here. And then, what is this? Also drives? They're small drives. More fluids. And the fluids are formatted because I'm trying to stay organized. Like I don't want water just to fill up everything. I believe these are my only CPUs. And they're actually, they're big, but they're not super big. 64. As you can see, nothing's running. If I was to ask for something, of course, no redstone. That is quite a problem. Yeah, that's no point showing that off. But yeah, nothing's running right now, which is kind of by design. I've tried to make my world where it's not always running and doing things like this. Sticks. That's actually maybe a good example. I've got 15, no, I've got 1,000 sticks. So I have this little sign here that says 1,000 sticks. So where is it? Oh, sticks is up top. Yeah, so I use these redstone crafting and acceleration cards on whatever those settings are. I don't remember. With a level emitter that if my stick thing is low, it would turn on a light and then it would run. So, as an example, if I was to not have 1,000 sticks, we would see that light turn on and then sticks would be getting made. But I guess they're not being used in the Autocrafter. They're probably being made some other way. Oh yeah. I thought I saw that fill up. Yeah, so they're being made from a sawmill or something. Doesn't matter. But yeah, that's what I was using this room for. As you can see, furnace 500. If I go here, if it drops below 500 for furnaces, it would start making them. And I've done that with processors from AE2 because I hated not having enough. So just like, have 200 on hand. So that way, when I logged off, if I was low on stuff, it would remake things like pistons, steel. I got tired of not having enough steel, so I always have 2,000 steel blocks on hand. Right? Steel. Yeah, 9,000. And I used steel a lot for some builds. That's kind of a small little crafting tower. I have a bigger one somewhere else. So this is my immersive room. Oh yeah, there's all my steel. Got the coke oven, got the blast furnace, arc furnace. This isn't automated. Basically, I can manually put stuff in. It'll export it, and then it'll go into the AE2 system. This thing's automated. This is my mining chest. If I was to turn on this, items should start showing up in here. And if the item fits in a certain filter, oh, is it going to freeze on me? If it's any one of these ores, it gets dumped into there. But I'll turn that off. I keep clicking the wrong thing. This is cool. It's definitely not the fast way to make gears, but I like it. I can say, hey, make me 10 of those. And I tried to divvy it up so it would kind of go half and half. This makes my plates, makes my gears, my rods, and then my strings. And then it goes into the crate, into the AE2 system. I quite like immersive. And we're back outside again. What else is there to show here? This is not automated. I had plans to hook AE2 up to here to constantly have steel getting made, but it's too slow. And same with this thing. This thing's really cool. I have this one set to make circuits. So I can say, hey, make me 10 of those. So first it has to make... Wait, what's it doing? I'm so lost. Oh yeah, I'm picking it up. But that's a bad place to stand. It's a good thing I don't have a magnet. Get out of my inventory. Whoops. Gotta stick it in there so the craft gets finished. And then it goes into that crate in the wall and it's back in my AE2 system. So I have it set up to make the iron components, the steel components, the vacuum tubes, and then these plates. and I like it. It's not fast, but it's cool. My peace candle, forgot about that. This is just some chaos. These are my advanced inscribers. Awesome mod, but this is for applied energistics. Really fast way to make components. This is the back end of my XNet in the antechamber room. Stoneworks. I have this set up to only fill these chests, and then AE2 is tied into this drawer controller. Again, I just didn't want this system to overpopulate my controller. Same with these limes for my food. I didn't want a bunch of limes made. No, it's full already. I don't know what that was going to be. This is my Rocketry stuff. I can't remember if I automated it. I searched for rod and I asked for 2 of those. I actually think it made it, but made it really fast. Lubricant. Woodcutter. This thing. Oh, those wafers. I totally automated this, didn't I? I was preparing to go to space, but then I never did. Asked for 10 of those. Oh, is this all broken now too? Oh no. How does this thing work? Where's the input? Oh, that's the power. I forget how this place works. Guess I can just break it. Not like I'm playing this world anymore. Oh, it must have made them really fast. If I was to ask for 100 of those. Yeah, stuff's getting made on the sawmill. And I think the animation, I have really fast motors in here, so the animation isn't even running. But I believe it all works. What I was going to have here was an actual control center. If you look at the quest book for advanced rocketry, I didn't make any of this stuff, but I was actually going to have a control center here, and I was going to have a launch pad with a giant rocket silo, I think, going down into this hill right there. But again, that's about the time I stopped. There's my dragon egg and my extra utility stuff. Bed. Might as well sleep. If you're wondering why I sleep so fast, it's or eat fast, it's because of these charms. Sleep fast and eat fast. So this is the turbine. This is where I get my 5.5 million RF. I'm getting steam from the end from my Mekanism reactor, and it's pumping it into here. And right now it's full, so it's not running, but it's absolutely full of steam. So as soon as I need it, it will start spinning. That's basically like a massive, massive battery, like 33.2 giga RF. Plus, it can make 5.5 million. It's definitely probably not an efficient design. I actually struggled with it for a while, and I don't think I'd ever build it again because it doesn't seem to be that good. That's why I never finished it off. I kind of lost interest in it. Nope. I'm all lost again. Let's come back here. So, this is my automated industrial craft. It's actually stuck in the wall or below my steps. If you remember from earlier, there's a compact cube, but I'm not using that compact cube to do any of my IC2. This is literally where all the autocrafting happens, and it works, so I just don't touch it. And this is my absolute mess of cabling. But it worked once upon a time. So this room's kind of interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody do it before, and maybe it's because nobody's. Maybe it's because this isn't a good design, but I had a lot of fun making it. It's kind of a two-part thing, but it's a crafting tree. It's similar to that crafting tree that I was showing over there, that orange one. But basically what it does is it says, you know what, I want to have 500 chimichanga food in my thing at all time. So if I need more, I just grab it, and then it's going to run to say, hey, make more chimichanga. And if I check one of these things, yeah, it's right there. Now, the reason it's not actually crafting that right now is because if you notice, the red tree is off, but the green tree is on. So what I've actually done is I've made it so only the green runs, and then in about a half hour or 30 minutes, it will toggle, so then the red will run. And the purpose is to not overload the server. So when I leave or I log off, the system will keep running, and it will craft everything that needs to be crafted to keep my numbers up. And then after 30 minutes of crafting, it'll switch and it'll do the red side, and it'll do it, forever. A lot of them are empty. As you see, I've tried to stay organized. Like 10,000 plastics from industrial foregoing, because you need lots of plastic. So I like to have it just ready for when I log on. I haven't done anything here, and I haven't done anything on those top ones. Oh, I guess I have crafting storages up here too. Interesting. So the way I did this is kind of chaotic, but maybe it's what's best to show first. This redstone signal will toggle, and this is a inverted toggle bus, and this is a regular toggle bus. So the reds are regular and the green is inverted, and so that's what lets it flip-flop based on if there's a redstone signal or there's not. And it's kind of weird how it interacts. So I stuck a redstone proxy block from XNet in here, and it seems to handle toggling that and that better with those blocks, because this thing kind of acts weird. So the same thing. What is this? Oh, that's my AE2 network. So yeah. What was I going to say? So my actual AE2 system is over here. This white line, I have it overridden right now. See how it's on? If I was to turn off my override, which turns off this, I run back over here, you'll see the entire tree's off. So the purpose of that is when I'm online right now playing, I don't want my system to be running and just making stuff all the time automatically to fill those numbers. So everything's off when I'm online, so the game runs better. And when I log off, this white line would energize, which would turn everything on. And the way I do that again is I detect if I'm online, because I'm the only player. And the sequencer runs, and I think it's about a half hour, and it toggles this wireless transmitter, which connects with that wireless receiver. So an actual notification will show up in this corner of the screen that'll say AE2 Crafter green active and AE2 Crafter red active, and that was just for my own purposes. So when I was playing, I could actually see that show up and tell me that it was toggling back and forth. And it's an absolute mess. But yeah, so since I'm online, it's off. But if I wanted my stuff to be running for me, auto-crafting for me, I could just put the override on, so it'll be running even if I'm online. And you'll see the system should turn back on. Yeah, okay, it took a minute. The green's back on. And then in half an hour, it should switch to the red. Although saying that, I've been recording for a while, and I don't think I've seen it switch. So there might be more technical difficulties. What's next? Oh god, this place. These are all my different ender chests. Basically, I'm pushing blood magic slates. I'm pushing my system to actually keep a certain number of 1,000 living rock in here and keep all my slates in here. It's a storage bus that's specifically meant to keep these items in here, and that allows it to work with that automation thing I showed in the beginning for blood magic. Oh, this is my Astral Sorcery Starlight engine to make those items for me. Botania automation. The runes that no longer work, apparently. More runes. What's this? Oh, the Botania. Brine. Oh, draconic stuff. Those. Compact machine. And Botania. What's this? Oh, I saw that already. So yeah, this is just kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. This is my oldest build, or my first build. I had a seared furnace. This thing just makes seared stone, cobblestone. And I wanted a lot of it, so I just built this giant tower, and now it's just full. And this is my smeltery, and I have it set up to make whatever I need. And it'll just run. If I turn this on, it'll empty out. And apparently if you put starlight in here, it's a really good fuel. And I've got some stuff on the backside. One of the first things I built, farmer, farm hemp, and then now I've moved on to pearls. And this thing passively runs and just fills my system with pearls, and that's all it does. And it's done that from the very beginning. So 65,000 pearls come from this farm. That's not even optimized, as you can see. I was doing a science experiment. It's all powered from this water wheel. I don't know if I should continue doing down here. Again, half automated stuff, to-do board. This is my skull head thing. What do you call it? Wither skull head? I forget how it works. I think if my skull head numbers drop, it'll turn on this redstone, which makes wither skeletons drop, and they fall into here. And I've got looting and beheading on that cleaver. And most of the other drops, I think, get trashed. Which is fine. Base went through a lot of redesigns. This all used to have conduit in it, and I've done many redesigns. That's why it's chaotic. I use the builder to fill the extreme reactor with cryothium. And I'm not very impressed with this design. I built it myself and it does not work very good, so I don't even use it. But what it used to do was it was one of my first better power sources, but I don't use it anymore. It would toggle between 15% and 85%. It would toggle the rods to 100% or 0 to control how much it was burning my uranium. All kinds of subnet nonsense, other stuff, don't know what it is. Big battery, another big battery, and its sole purpose is to keep the AE2 system alive. This is really cool. This is the P2P networks, which I think is just the most interesting thing. So if I hover on this, see how it says P2P tunnel frequency 9886. That's all I have to do is find the other end of this to tell me where it goes to. But basically what happens is there's 32 channels, from my understanding, that gets packaged into here, and they get stuck into one channel in here. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining that. Basically, it lets me take these 8 channels that are compressed. I'm not even going to try to explain this. It's compressing 32 channels into one channel, so there's 8. And those 8 are getting pushed into this. And there's a quartz fiber here, and it gets pushed into this controller. And then this dense conduit allows 32 channels to go on it. And what happens is I send them over here, and they get pulled. The P2P tunnels get pulled out and sent all over the place. That is a horrible way to explain it. I know how it works, but I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, P2P tunnels are awesome, especially with compact cubes and those capability tunnels. I always kind of forget how to remake this thing, so I should really make a tutorial for myself that's easy to follow, but I'd have to really sit down and think of how to explain it, because that was a horrible, horrible effort. More automation. I really don't understand how this works. I was streaming and somebody explained it to me, but it's the extended crafting. Here's my storage drawers. I've moved these things in this world probably like 10 times, and I don't even really use them. They're not really even set up properly. I don't even know what's going on. Look, there's redstone there, and it's empty. What else? What else? Nothing interesting in the nether. This does something. What does it do? It makes oxygen. This is my ore processing system. So basically, anytime items get turned on and come through here, they'll either get sent into this thing, which then gets sent into here, or they get pulled into other places. I don't even know what this does. It's pretty fast. I'll turn it off. But yeah, it's not a very big system, but it seems to work for what I needed it for. This gas turbine burning liquid ethylene starts from melons, gets crushed, gets made into biofuel, and then it gets turned into ethylene. And there's actually a glitch in this mod pack, or with this mod, if you were to stick regular ethylene into here, it wouldn't use it, so it's basically unlimited energy. But I don't want to cheat, so I use the rotary condenser to turn it into liquid energy, and then it actually burns it properly. But if I was to get rid of this block and pipe it straight into this machine, it would run forever and it would never use the ethylene. But I don't like to cheat, so I've turned it off. Here's a battery that I filled up, and I've done nothing with it. It just sits there to look cool, but doesn't do anything. What else? What else? What else? What else? I think, is that it? There's been so many revamps to this basement. At one point, my entire base was here, and I had the cables down there, but I ended up bringing all the cables up and then trying to build on top. That's why it looks chaotic. I mean, that's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons. Should sleep real quick. Okay. So thermionic fabricator. Again, this is all AE2. That's an import bus. Item buffer. So yeah, this makes me my resident self-frame by sticking all the items into this machine. Fabricator, same story. This one I did something different too. I tried to use RFTools, and I'm kind of scared to show it because it's probably also broken. But I have my AE2 system making tons of IC2 coolant, Osglass, and Multimerian, which makes me this primal mana. And then I also make this alumite from this stuff. Well, that's a ton of alumite. But how did this system work? So I've got 3 programs. I've got a Carpenter Fluid Management, and I've got a Carpenter Fluid Subroutine, and a test. I don't even honestly remember what this program does anymore. Modular Carpenter AE2 recipe has failed. What if I did a clear? What if I asked it for something? Oh, there's a test, there's a flush. Oh yeah, sometimes these items, primal mana, water, destabilized redstone, liquid DNA, IC2 coolant, and nothing. What's that supposed to be? Don't remember. At Draconic. So these things, Wyvern cores. If I wanted 2 of those, it needs all of this stuff. So there was some primal mana up there. There it is again. It's going through its routines. I don't actually know which device is making it, but I believe it finished. Yeah, the recipe's done. So that system actually works, which is kind of cool. Oh, what else was it? A circuit? These things. Yeah, you needed all this stuff plus a token. I think that's getting made in here, right? Yeah, so it's making them. I think my system pushes items into this ender chest, and then as soon as this probe connector detects that this chest has an item into it, it pulses this redstone, and it tells the node to, hey, run an algorithm. And I think what it's doing is it's checking to see, okay, is there a draconic core, or is there a block of elementium? And based on those checks, it knows what I've asked it to make, and then it runs a routine, and it pushes the items where they need to go, and runs a subroutine, which I think is this. But yeah, it's an overly complicated way to do something. But I just really like playing with this mod. So I think that's it. There's really only one last thing to show. Maybe there's 2 last things. If I dial this to the excavator, something I have not used in a very long time. Oh. Are those Twilight Forest guys? That's weird. So again, this is my excavator. I had set these things up all over the underground, trying to find certain ore veins. And eventually I was just done with it, so I left it. But you can see I've got these core samples everywhere. What I would used to do is excavator, turn it on and it would run. Now it's off. It would fill up this chest. And then if the chest ever got full, it would turn off. But I haven't needed that in a long time, so it just sits there. And that's where my teleporter is. What I do is I jump down here. Oh, that's my infinity dust maker. Usually I have fire water on bedrock, generates those, but I've got tons of infinity dust. So what do I have here? I have a void ore tier 2, which again, by the same logic, it's watching slot 52. So it's off, or it's on rather. This is the one that kills my system using 7 million RF. And then another one. And I don't know why I have so many, but same thing. I really like this method of the ender pouch and controlling stuff with on and off. And as you can see, I just vein mined everything down here. It's just a mess. So if I teleport back, I don't have a good way of teleporting, I just realized. Ender cycle. Oh, which one is it? The base? No. Base Highlands. Okay, here we go. So the last thing to show, I believe, and it's not even that interesting, is the thermal plant in the end. Okay, so is it lagging? What's going on? So water into brine, and I use that brine for cooking. I think it makes salt for the chimichanga. And the brine goes into liquid lithium, and it goes from a gas phase to a liquid phase, or rather a liquid phase to a gas phase. And then the reason it's in the end is I guess there's always a sun, even though it doesn't look like it. So these solar activators will always run. They turn the lithium gas into tritium. The tritium goes into my reactor, which is full, and that's what's generating my steam. So all this steam is what goes back through integrated dynamics to my turbine that's in the overworld. This is, if this reactor ever turns off or loses its, shuts down from heat, it will turn off. So you need these lasers to start it up. And I would have weird issues with chunk loading where this thing would just turn off. So I have a bunch of these hollow rams, whatever they're called. They supercharge the reactor to get it started again. And then this is just more fuel related stuff. I stuck it over here just so it was out of the way. I don't remember this, but clearly it was some kind of an experiment. I would have liked to have finished this. Some parts of the base I tried to put a lot of detail into, then other parts I just gave up. But yeah. This is a cool system. I don't know if it's necessary, but I think it's kind of neat. I make everything too small, eh? Like I make this little small room, and then it has to be bigger to actually use it for anything. Building in the Highlands was kind of cool. I'd never done that before. I wouldn't say it turned out great because everything's unfinished, but there's a lot of potential. I would have really liked to have made a silo here because I think this whole area down here is empty. I could have had a really cool looking space shuttle. Yeah, I think I could have squeezed it in here. But yeah, that's it. Would have liked to have finished that too, the building, but I'm not really a builder.